Welcome to the Talkin' VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Tennessee's got a couple of huge weekends coming up for recruiting. It kicks off this Saturday. This weekend, I've already seen where Edwin Spillman, in-state four-star linebacker, tweeting out that he's on campus. Cam Franklin's going to be in town. Daniel Calhoun, some big-time targets. Four-star offensive tackle Marquez Easley is going to be in town as well. You've also got some kids already committed in the class of 24 that are going to be on campus doing a little recruiting for some of these prospects that will be with them. Jake Merklinger will be in town. Jesse Perry, Caleb Beasley, Jonathan Eccles all will be in town as well. So they can do a little peer recruiting over the weekend on Rocky Top. But this weekend is going to be headlined by one of the top players in the country, and that is five-star plus defensive lineman Nwaneri. We're going to get into it and talk about him. And look, I talk a lot about when we're talking about Josh Heupel in recruiting, a lot of it is timing. It's very interesting getting the commitment from Peyton Lewis during the 865 live event, having somebody come up and say, I have committed to come and play for Josh Heupel, come and play for this program. I think the way he utilizes maybe some of the announcements, some of the timing of things, maybe I'm digging too much into it. Maybe it's tinfoil hat conspiracy theory type of stuff. Maybe it's just coincidence. But one Boo Carter, one of the guys that a lot of the insiders, a lot of the experts say that is the heartbeat of this class. If Tennessee gets him in the boat, it will be huge. We talk about peer recruiting and the commits being in town this weekend. It'll be huge for Tennessee. One of those guys that Boo Carter has a good relationship is five-star wide receiver Mike Matthews. They played some AAU ball together, and Mike Matthews has that good relationship. But it's interesting that Boo Carter is set to pull the trigger this Saturday while all of this top-ranked talent is going to be on Rocky Top. And again, you know, a lot of noise about Michigan and Boo Carter. But guess what? Back on campus this week, I told you guys in that video about Michigan, I told you Tennessee was going to have the last opportunity because Boo Carter was coming back on campus for another visit before he made that decision coming up on Saturday. As of now, still feel like all the momentum is for Tennessee. Is that timing? Is that coincidence to land a huge commitment in the class of 24 while you've got all this talent on campus? I don't know. We'll see. We're going to be covering that commitment live on Saturday night. So hopefully you guys tune in for that. We're going to jump into it. I want to talk about one of the biggest targets in this class of 24. That is five-star defensive lineman Nwaneri. He's going to be in town this weekend. Before we do that, do me a favor. Smash that thumbs up just below the video. It's quick, free, easy, and helps the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you are new to the Talkin' VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media. We're not talking at you. We're talking with you. We are building a community of Tennessee fans right here on the Talkin' VAWLS Network. I think that's what makes us stand out on this YouTube platform. Last night, perfect example, letting you guys come on the show as we watch the schedule reveal. That was a good time. But if you like the content, make sure you subscribe, click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. We're going to be live again tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Sports Talk Jay is going to be in the house talking all things Tennessee football. So I hope you guys will come hang out for that. And then again, Saturday night, we're going to go live around 7:30. Boo Carter's scheduled to commit around 8. So make sure you're dialed in, enjoying those live streams. But let's jump into it. Let's talk about five-star defensive lineman Nwaneri, who just got a bump over at On3. You can see coveted defensive lineman Nwaneri, now a five-star plus recruit. The article says that this time last year, Lee Summit North defensive lineman Nwaneri was a household name around the Midwest and was just blossoming into a national recruit. After strong performances at a number of offseason camps, Nwaneri shot up recruiting boards and recruiting rankings. In February, On3 was the first to tab him as a five-star prospect, moving all the way up to number 2 nationally in the On300 rankings. He says other services have begun to take notice as well. On Tuesday, Nwaneri earned a five-star plus status, signifying that he is rated a five-star recruit by all 4 major recruiting services: On3, 247 Sports, Rivals, and ESPN. It says here 6'6", 250-pounder is now one of 6 five-star plus prospects in the cycle. That just tells you how big of a prospect he is. And again, if you don't really grasp what I'm talking about here, five-star plus just means he is a five-star across the board, all 4: ESPN, 247 Sports, Rivals, and On3. So there's no doubt Nwaneri, one of the top players in the country. Goes on to mention the other ones there as well. Dylan Raiola committed to Georgia. Also Jeremiah Smith, Colin Simmons, Micah Hudson, and KJ Bolden. You can take a look at the rankings here from the On3 You got 247 Sports. No matter where you look, they've got him as either the best defensive lineman in the country or the second best defensive lineman in the country. And that's, the beauty of having Rodney Garner. That's the ace up the sleeve. That's the wild card for Tennessee football on the recruiting trail. And even though, we're going to get into it and talk about it here a little bit, a lot of people think that Williams Nwaneri is off to Oklahoma. Why is the recruiting prediction machine so skewed, Boogie? Why is Oklahoma so far out front at 80%? Well, that's because you have some Oklahoma insiders that have put in predictions for Oklahoma. And that's how it kind of sways that recruiting prediction machine. When predictions come in, that factors into that prediction machine. So also got Sam Spiegelman, I think, is a national recruiting analyst who has also put in a prediction. 247 Sports, the only one coming in is another Oklahoma insider. But I think this thing is still wide open. He's visited Oklahoma. He's visited Georgia. Now Tennessee has their shot coming up this weekend to land the big 5-star defensive lineman. All I can see is the talent that Rodney Garner already has on Rocky Top at the edge position, but also on the inside. How quickly we forget about how big of a recruit David Hobbs was. At one point, he was listed as a 5-star prospect. You add Williams Nwaneri, you add David Hobbs, you start to build that depth. This defensive line is starting to become nasty, and this ball defense is going from, we just need to be efficient to, let's go play elite defense in the SEC, and let's go win an SEC championship, national championship. I love the quote from Coach G. You guys know that. I play it all the time. But you do that, it starts up front on the defensive line. Listen to this. This is from the On3 Director of Scouting and Rankings, Charles Power. Williams Nwaneri is the most physically gifted defensive line prospect early on in the 24 cycle, has an elite frame, measuring in at over 6'6" with a 7-foot wingspan and 11-inch hand. Moves very well for his size, clocked a sub 5-second electronically timed 40. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Under 5 seconds at 6'6", 260 pounds. That's athleticism. So that was prior to his junior season. Also shows fluidity with a change of direction in the camp setting. Flashed some of his high-end potential as a sophomore, showing the ability to create disruption from multiple spots on the defensive line, and has the range and athleticism to run down skill players from behind. Still developing in terms of technical skill at the position, but has an immense upside capacity for improvement. Could project to a number of spots along the defensive front, but looks to be a defensive lineman long-term, given his frame and potential to add mass. Here's talking about his visit to Oklahoma. He's been to Oklahoma multiple times. His 5 official visits are Georgia, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Oregon, and Missouri. And the interesting thing about this, he's already been to Georgia. He's already been to Oklahoma. He's got Tennessee this weekend and then Missouri coming up at the end of the month. But the interesting thing is that he's sitting on that Oregon visit until later in the season, September the 22nd, scheduled to visit Oregon. So the question for me is, does Williams Nwaneri even make it to that visit? Or does he go ahead and do something sooner than that? Does he go ahead and pull that trigger? I think he's going to take the visit to Tennessee, take the visit to Missouri. But as far as time frame, I have not seen that time frame or when he pulls the trigger. So it'll be interesting. It says here, this is from Chad Simmons. After a weekend at Georgia, Williams Nwaneri was back at Oklahoma over the weekend. The Sooners have always been a top school for Nwaneri, and things haven't changed. He probably has the best relationships in Norman, but will that be enough? Georgia is in it now, and Tennessee had some momentum earlier this spring. He will be in Knoxville this weekend. So as far as his visits to Tennessee, he's been on campus 3 times since 2023 kicked off. He was here for January visit. He was here for April, also back in May, and now the official visit this weekend. This is the big one, boys. This is where you got to sell it. You got to sell Williams Nwaneri. You got to pull him from Oklahoma. Everything I've seen, even though Georgia is in it, they're listed as in it. They're behind Tennessee and Oklahoma. So I think Oklahoma is the team to beat. Can Tennessee get it done? This is what some of you guys are talking about. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Can Tennessee land one of these top targets? If there's any coach on this staff that I believe in to get it done, it is one Rodney Garner. But this weekend is absolutely huge, not just for Williams Nwaneri, but also for guys like Cam Franklin, who I've made the video of him flashing the ball sign. We've seen that. But the offensive line, recruiting on the offensive line is going to be huge. They've got some big 4-star priority targets. Can they land a couple of those guys? Daniel Calhoun, Marquez Easley, a couple of guys that I don't know that Tennessee, I think they're probably trailing for both of those guys. But again, huge weekend of recruiting. Can Tennessee do enough to land some of these guys. We will keep you guys updated throughout the weekend. Jump into the comment section and let me know what you think about Williams Nwaneri. Can Tennessee land the big fish? Can they land one of the best, if not the best, defensive lineman in the class of 2024? As always, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. We would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you want to do a little more, you want to join the channel, hit that join button down below. $1. That is all we ask. We're on a membership drive, $1 per month. If you can afford it, keep the lights on around here. We would appreciate it. Hit that join button down below. You get custom Talkin' Vols emojis, access to fan call-in shows, all kinds of fun perks and benefits. But you members of the channel, you guys keeping those memberships up to date, that's what allows me to make it through the offseason. Look, it is easy to stream in October and November when there's 2,000 people watching live streams and dropping super chats. But the offseason, when we're talking recruiting, gets a little bit more tough. And it's all because of you, the members of the channel, that we have the ability to do that. Also, check out the merch. You guys know where, bonfire.com/store/Talkin' Vols. All the links are in the description. If you don't have the money to give or donate or buy a shirt, that's cool. Smash the thumbs up because that's quick, free, and easy. Jump into the comment section. Let's talk a little Tennessee football because this is the Talkin' Vols Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.